You might feel that sales is sleazy, creepy in your face. You might feel like the job of sales is to convince somebody to do something they really don't want to do. And that's not the case at all. Amy Posner here with today's topic, which is the sales call, or perhaps you call it the discovery call. Sales, think of it this way, is connecting people with problems with people that have solutions, sometimes companies that have solutions, sometimes individuals. But if it genuinely helps somebody, then the sales process is good. It's important. It educates and it informs them. And here's the thing. If you don't feel comfortable with sales and you're talking to prospects, and the lack of confidence will come through, but your prospect won't know that you're not confident or you're uncomfortable with sales. They just perceive a lack of confidence and they're not going to hire that. So this is worth getting comfortable with, if nothing else, for just that reason. But it's worth getting comfortable with too, because it actually helps people and it provides genuine value. Consider too that sales and buying isn't always about price. I think that makes people nervous sometimes because talking about money can be difficult. Now, my dad owned a business, and his advice was to let people tell you what they want. That if you learn how to ask questions and you get good at asking questions, people will tell you what they want. It will be revealed, even if they don't know what they want initially. So if you get good at asking questions and don't force people to rush to decide, I think you'll find that it's a conversation. It's about educating and informing. And that's whether you're having, a discovery call and a sales call. A quick win for you is position your services to solve problems. So literally, whatever it is you offer, think about how that connects to your end user in terms of the problem it solves for them. Because if you think about it that way and you're able to talk about it that way, you can position your own brain to think about the good you're doing for them. You'll come across much more confident and it'll feel easier. You won't feel so much like you're trying to convince somebody to do something that maybe they don't want to do, which, it's manipulative. It's not, good sales isn't manipulative. So try that. Have a sense of what it is that you do and how do you talk about it. That the client is thinking about the benefit and how it's going to serve them rather than what it's going to cost them. And so when you are delivering on value, price becomes less of an issue. When price becomes less of an issue, sales is an easier process. I know it's nervous making to promote oneself. It feels a little bit uncomfortable, but it is critically important and it's how you win business. Now, typically, this call happens after you've done some vetting by email, right? You get on that call, you want to control it right from the very beginning. I mean, literally, you want to control the small talk and the segue off small talk. Whatever little chit chat you do, after a minute or so, it's up to you to shut it down and say something like, I want to respect your time and I see we're 2 minutes after the hour. I'd like to switch to talking about the project. Does that work for you? You always get buy-in all along the way. You're asking questions and getting buy-in, so they're agreeing. Because if they're agreeing, not only are you habituating them to say yes, but you're sort of opening the path for them to follow you down without any resistance. So then you lay out the agenda for the call and plan this, prepare this and practice it. So you say, so here's what I'd like to do. I've got some questions I want to ask you about the project to ascertain, what's going on, why this project, why now, and what success would look like. What's your timeline? What are the KPIs for this project, what you're doing right now and why we're on the call. And then after that, of course, you can ask me questions, any questions about what we've talked about or about my processes. Then we'll see if we think at that point we have enough of it to take next steps. Does that sound right to you? Does that sound good to you? Again, you're getting buy-in and it makes it very clear to them what's going to happen on the call. Here's the thing. This is a big overall fact to just know and accept and sort of embrace, I guess. Experts get paid more. If you can perform strategy and execution and you can demonstrate that on this initial call, you instantly have more value and credibility in the client's eyes. It's just a fact. It's just the way it is. And they may not know that they're looking for that, but when they see it, they're impressed every single time. And so when you demonstrate that on the call, you've just set yourself up as a consultant. You've set yourself up for more respect and higher pay. So it's very important that you ask these questions. And I'll tell you something that's a little funny. When you're brand new or when you're newer and you're on these calls, you tend to think that asking questions makes you look like you don't know stuff. And what you find out later is asking questions makes you look really confident and really intelligent. The best thing to do is create a list of questions for the call, things that you absolutely want answered And don't hesitate thinking that, oh, you're going to be taking up too much of their time or they don't want to answer deep questions. They love talking about their business. They'll be really, really happy to give you the time and to give you the information. Because honestly, if you land the project, which you're more likely to do using this method, you're going to have great information that you can use. I've had some really great big ideas come from something that they told me that was just some buried little fact that turned out to be a really potent story for their audience. So try this out. Write down some questions. Even if you're a little bit nervous about, being the boss in this situation, I encourage you to just try it, even if all you do is segue off the small talk. Just that one thing alone can put you in the driver's seat. Because if you're in the position where they're saying, okay, well, let's get down to it. Now you're like, you're a little flustered. Like, what do I do? You can pick up the ball right there and run with it, but it's better if you're running with the ball first and leading. That's it for today. If you like what you heard and you want to be notified when other episodes come out, hit the bell and subscribe. And please leave me your questions in the comments. I'd be happy to make a video response. All right, catch you next time.